I'm really excited for today's video because today we are going to be playing 21 questions. I've come up with 21 questions that I think would be really fun for me to answer and maybe for you guys to answer in the comments. I'm also going to play with some new makeup that I just got in. And if you guys want to see what I'm using and maybe hear my response to some of these questions, then just keep watching.
We don't need to be worried. We don't need lots of money. So tonight, put your hands in the air. Act like you just don't care.
If this is your first time here, hi, my name is Heather. I love all things makeup, especially colorful makeup and indie brands. And if you guys love those things too, I really hope you will subscribe, click the little bell so you can be notified of all my future uploads. And with that being said, I finally got in the Unearthly Cosmetics Valentine's Day mystery box. I'm pretty sure this is sold out and it is not coming back, but I picked up the second pre-order and I still wanted to film something with it. So maybe you guys have already picked this up and you would be interested in seeing what I come up with. Or even if you don't have it, you can still use this video as inspiration. But I'm going to go ahead and get you guys zoomed in and then we are going to dig into these questions. And I'm really excited to hear some of your responses down below. And if you have a channel yourself, then maybe you guys can answer these questions as well. I'll have them all in my description box. And if you do happen to do that video, please tag me in it because I would love to watch it. I'm really excited about this mystery box because it's my first time trying a bunch of this stuff from Unearthly. These brushes are available on the site. They're just not available with the purple handles. It was exclusive to this box. And same can be said about these multi-chrome liners. I haven't tried these yet either. And these shades, like specifically, are not available, but she has a ton of other shades. And the same with the blush. I heard that she's bringing the blushes to the main line, and I'm really excited about them. But I'm really happy to finally be playing with this. It was a very long wait, but I knew that I was going to love it. So I really didn't mind the wait. And also, I wanted to let you guys know before we get started, the pre-order from the Unearthly Spring Magic collection is up. The full bundle is available again, along with everything sold like individually. I just wanted to let you guys know. So now to get into the 21 questions. So for this video, I looked up like 21 question games and I pulled some of the questions from that, but some of them I came up with on my own. And also, not all of these questions are related to makeup, but some of them are. And as for question number 1, it is, what is your favorite childhood memory? That's easy. So me growing up, I had a ton of cousins. I have a ton of cousins. I don't know why I said that past tense. But there's a bunch of us girls. Let's see, there's 5 girls. We were all close, like really close. We're all first cousins too. As for us girls, we had talent shows all the time. And that's by far some of my favorite memories growing up are with them, if not all. But we would sing like Britney Spears songs and Christina Aguilera, and we would put on talent shows for our families, and we would make like little tickets to the show, and sometimes we would sing together, like in pairs, and then sometimes we would sing apart. We had so much fun together doing that, and then we always did the lift off of Dirty Dancing. And I was always Patrick Swayze because I'm the oldest and the biggest. So they were always her and I was always him. I always wanted to be her, but I couldn't because they were all like smaller than me, but they were the best. I just love those memories and I hold them close to my heart. My childhood was good because of them and I will never ever 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 forget it. I really like this liquid blush formula. I think it's really pretty. But question number 2, if you could travel anywhere in the world, where would it be? So in the United States, I would travel. I want to go to Seattle so bad. There's a bunch of places I want to go, but Seattle, Washington is a big one. But if we're talking outside of the United States, I really, really want to go to Italy. I've always wanted to go there. I think it's so beautiful. And if I ever get the opportunity, I can't wait. I just think it would be so fun. And I just love everything about it. I've learned a lot about a lot of countries and different states through reading, and Italy's always been one that captivates me. I would love to try the food and go shopping. I just think it would be so fun, but I really love Seattle as well. That underground marketplace, oh, I would tear it up. I love Seattle. It's one of my favorite places that books are like written in. Is that the word I'm looking for? I don't know. I just love it. I think it sounds amazing and I would love to go. And Taylor Wynn what lived there for a time, and I loved watching her videos and her vlogs and stuff where it showed it. Oh, I would love to go there. Let me know where you guys would like to go. So question number 3 is, what's your favorite book or movie? So my most recent favorite would have to be the Fourth Wing series. That is one of the best series or books that I've read in such a long time, and I'm an avid reader. Right now, I'm reading, what's it called? The Red Queen series. I just started book number 2. I picked those up on recommendation from Betty Jean, and I loved book 1. And book 2 seems to be just as exciting. But my favorite book of all time is The Glass Castle. I believe it was written by Jeanette Walls, or Jeanette Wells. I'll pop up a picture somewhere on the screen so you guys can see, because I might be wrong. It's been a really long time since I read it. I had a Prestera worker, which is I really don't know how to explain her. I got that worker from after I got out of foster care and I went back home. She was like supposed to help me like blend back in with my family, but she gave me that book and oh, it just hit me in the heart. It really kind of hit close to home for me, and I just love that book so much, and it's one that's I've recommended to a lot of people, and it's one that still sticks out in my mind even after all these years. I think I was like 15 when she gave me that book, so it's been like 20 years. It's such a good one. If you haven't read it, I highly recommend it. So, question number 4, when did you fall in love with makeup and why? So, for me, it was actually kind of late, like really, really late. I can't remember the year exactly, but it was either 2016 or 2017. And at the time, I didn't even know like YouTube existed at all. But I came across, I think the first video I ever watched was Kelly Strack, and then I started watching Jessica Braun and Taylor Wynn, Jen Loves Reviews. Angelica was the first person I ever watched do colorful eyeshadow, and I've gotten so much inspiration from her, from all of them, really. And even though I have different like makeup preferences from some than others, I just really admire them as humans, and because of that, I still continue to watch all of them until this day. But like I was saying, it was really late, later than a lot of other people, especially for my age. I'm 35. But the why, I was like so depressed. I was like so clinically depressed. And I stayed in bed. Like, I got out of bed to cook or like to shower. I didn't work. I didn't do anything. My life was terrible. I had no income. Like, I was a mess. But I stayed in bed for almost 5 years, and makeup is the thing that pulled me out of that. I was in such a deep, dark depression, and I was just stuck there. it's kind of hard to describe unless you know what it's like to be in that situation, but it was terrible. And I remember like watching, I think the first video I watched was a Kelly Strike PR haul, and I must have come across it on Facebook because, like I said, I didn't even realize that people were doing makeup videos on YouTube. But then I remember coming across Angelica Nikibis not long after and just seeing how she did her makeup. And I just remember saying, I wish I could do makeup like that. And I just loved her channel so much. And then I moved and finally got a job and could take care of myself financially. And I was able to start buying makeup. And then that's it was it from there. I just fell in love. I love colorful makeup. I love neutrals. I love mostly indie brands when it comes to eyeshadow. They're just my absolute favorite. They make me so happy. And for me, I've spoke about this in a video recently. I do have ADHD, and I kind of skip around a lot about hobbies and stuff. Like for a minute, I'll read for like every day, nonstop for months, and then all at once, I'll stop doing that and I'll start writing every day, or I'll stop that and then I'll start drawing. Like I have so many things that I just skip around with, and makeup is the only thing that I've ever started that stuck. It still captivates me. It holds my attention. It makes me happy. It brings me peace. It makes me calm. I love it. And honestly, I don't know how I lived without it for as long as I did because it's the only thing I've ever done that I've done for myself. And that's an amazing feeling, one that I didn't know I was really missing out on. And I'm really happy I found it. And I went from the depressed woman in bed for 5 years, and now I'm here and I'm doing something I love, and I've met all of you, and it's been an amazing thing for me. So I'm really glad that I did. Number 5, what is your dream job? Obviously, this one, but I'm going to take it a little deeper. But outside of this one, I've always wanted to be a forensic psychologist. I think they have the coolest job. Well, I mean, I'm sure it has its downsides as well, but just to be able to get into the mind of someone like that and understanding them, I just think it's the coolest thing. But I think a lot of that also stems from my childhood, maybe, and stuff like that. But I just think that would be the coolest job ever. Question number 6, what's a talent or skill you wish you had? A lot of them, honestly, but the one that came to my mind first is singing. I love to sing. I sing random songs all day, every day, and I just sing at the top of my lungs. And I'm not going to say I sound like a dying cow or anything, but I'm not a good singer by any means. But to be able to sing and sing well, oh, that would be the best thing ever. I would love it so much. And I really love how like everyone's coming out on Instagram and TikTok, and it seems like everyone can sing these days, but I think it's incredible and it's a talent I really wish I had. Question number 7. Do you have any phobias? Yes. I have big phobias. I have a huge phobia to mice, and um I've always had a phobia to mice, but now it's more of a PTSD trigger, and there's a whole story behind that. But long story short, a couple of years ago, it's been almost 3 years ago, I was homeless, and where I was staying was covered in more mice than you could ever imagine. It was horrific. And now I have a huge freaking phobia to mice, and I don't imagine that will ever change, ever. I hate them. I hate them so bad. And I know it's not their fault or anything, but it's like the trauma of that whole time period kind of attached itself to my phobia of mice. And now the two go hand in hand, and I can't seem to separate it in my mind at all. But it's not something that I will ever forget, ever. I wish I could. Question number 8. Biggest struggle with mental health throughout life. There's a lot of things I could say for this, depression being a really big one, but another one is self-sabotage and feeling like I don't really belong anywhere. There's a word for that. Give me a second and I will think of it. I'm sure. Imposter syndrome. I have it terribly. I've always struggled with it my whole life, and it just seems to in some ways gotten worse as I've gotten older, but in other ways I don't care as much as I used to. I'm more like, you either love me or you hate me. But it still shocks me that 600 people have decided to listen to this video. For someone with imposter syndrome, that is such a huge freaking deal. And it's the craziest thing in the world. I started YouTube like with the hope of meeting people and praying that people would want to watch, but the fact that people actually do just blows my mind. And I'm so grateful for all of you, more than you could ever imagine. And I appreciate you so much. Thanks for helping me heal my messed up mind. Now for a lighter question is question number 9. If you could be any fictional character, who would it be? Immediately, my mind goes to the TV series Alias, and if you guys know, then you know I'm going to say Sydney Bristow. I freaking love Alias. I've watched that show so many times, more times than I can ever amount, more times than I could ever count. I just think it's so freaking awesome. But for those of you who don't know who I'm talking about, she's a CIA agent, and she finds out that she's actually working for the bad people. She thought she was working for a black ops thing with the CIA, but come to find out she's actually working for the bad people. And she finds out, and then she becomes a double agent. I know I lost some of you because a lot of people don't like shows like that, but it has a really great love story. Plus, I really love action movies and stuff like that. But I just love that. I would love to be her. She's awesome. If I was another person who was fit and extremely like scary smart, I would so be her. I would be her. In another life, I probably was. The eye look is really pretty, and it's only just like this periwinkle shade, and then this shade here, which is like a turquoise. If you guys want to recreate it, it is really, really pretty. So, question number 10, what is your most embarrassing moment? The answer could be many, many, many things, but I'm going to stick to the first thing that popped in my mind. When I was in like 6th grade, I had this crush on a boy in school. His name was Chad. And I remember it was picture day, and I was wearing a dress, and I was trying to like be flirty with him, and I was like skipping. It was after we had our pictures done, and I went to like jump over the back of a chair. Well, our at the time our desks were together like they are in high school, and I just tried to jump over the side of the chair, and I tripped and my dress came up over my head in front of my whole class. It was mortifying, but now it's hilarious. It's funny. That's what I get though. But yeah, that's one of my most embarrassing moments. But like I said, I have many more recent as well. Number 11, what's the best advice you ever received? I have two things that I want to share. The first thing is when I was this is going to be one of my new favorite brushes. But I remember the year and everything. My aunt, it was 2013. My aunt was talking to me about love, and at the time I was in a relationship with someone, my now ex, but she told me that nobody gets through the world basically like unscathed. We've all been hurt by people that we love and care about. And one thing that she realized was that everyone knows what it's like to be hurt. She said, how could you love someone and cause them any kind of trauma or pain knowingly? Like, she's known my background and stuff. And she said, if you love somebody, why would you ever want to make them feel the way that people have always made you feel? And something about that just really struck with me, and I never forgot it. And that's something I still consider when with all of my relationships in my life, because there's nothing more true than that. We all know what it's like to be hurt by people. So why would you want to yell or say mean things to somebody or do something that could cause someone pain when you know what it's like to be hurt yourself? And I just think that's a very beautiful piece of advice, and one I'm really happy to pass along. The next piece of advice came from a friend of mine, and it was actually during the time I was just talking about when I was homeless. And I felt sorry for myself. I mean, I think a lot of people might be able to understand why in that situation. It was very difficult, but he told me, and at the time I thought he was being an asshole, I'm going to be honest. And I thought it was harsh and cruel, but it also changed my life. He said, we are born alone and we die alone. And he said, when you come into this world kicking, screaming, and crying, you take that first breath, and though you might be surrounded by people you love, you're still born alone. And when you leave the world, you're going to die that same way. Nobody can make you happy the way that you can. You have to learn to save yourself. And that one still hits a little, I'm not going to lie. But it's harsh. It feels harsh, but it's true. It's very true. Sometimes, no matter, you have to put yourself first in some ways. Like picking dinner for the night, that's not what I mean. I mean, if you can't be present for yourself, then you can't be present for anyone else. And that's all there is to it. At the time, like, I had walked so far to get to work. It Where I was staying at was in a place in Kentucky, and to get to work, I had to walk over 2 hours, and it was like over a mountain in the dark. I know I sound like everybody's grandpa now talking about how they got to school, but I swear it's true. But it was hard, and I felt really sorry for myself and really sad. And I just got out of a 10-year relationship that I never expected to end. And I was getting through a relapse and everything like that. But I had to like do that 2 hour walk and then walk to all over town to try to get the job that I had at the time, which was at a Wendy's. And don't get me wrong, I was grateful for that job because I had nothing. I had no home, no car, no clothes, nothing. I completely started over in every way possible. But during those walks, I never let myself be alone in the silence. I'm the kind of person, I do 10 things at once, anything to avoid thinking in any way. So during those walks home, I don't know, it's like parts of me just snapped into place, and I just found parts of myself that made me really like feel whole. It's like there was pieces that were always missing. But I remember like going on those walks and feeling bad for myself. But then there came a time finally when it hit me that my life was getting better, I had a job and I had a place to stay, and all these pieces were clicking back into place. And I did that. I did that on my own. And I remember like I didn't have a bed or anything to sleep in at the time. And I remember going to Walmart and buying an air mattress and carrying it all the way back home. And I had never been so happy in my life or so proud of myself to have that bed. Like, it was the best feeling in the world. And honestly, I really think that advice he gave me at the time, I didn't understand it, but it saved my life. And it definitely changed the quality of my life. I was at an all time low, and I remember telling my therapist one time that I didn't know how to get back up. And I just felt like life was just knocking me down. And she told me that I didn't know how to get back up because I had never been up. That still makes me cry when I think about it. So let's move on. But that advice, I think, it brought me to the point in my life where I think it was the first time I ever stood up, and I'll never forget it. But what question are we even on now? See, that just threw me for a loop. Oh, number 12. What hobby or activity do you enjoy in your free time? Makeup is a big one. But also, I love reading. Like I said, right now I'm reading the Red Crown or the Red Queen series, and it's really good. I'm really excited about it. I just finished all of Sarah J. Maas's books. I started reading A Court of Thorns and Roses first, and then I read another, what's the other one called? You're gonna have to help me out and down in the comments because I'm drawing a blank. I'm really bad with names. But then I read Crescent City, and that one was really freaking good too. And I can't wait to see like the other one that's coming out. I think there's a few books for a bunch of the different series coming out this year, and I'm excited about it. But when I'm off on one of my things where I don't like to read, I either love writing and I also love drawing. Drawing is something I never knew I was good at until this time I was telling you about when I was going through all that stuff. I just figured out that I could draw, which is really freaking awesome. Those are some of my favorite things to do, but I like DIYs. I love a bunch of stuff. I know how to work on cars. I know how to do like construction work, plumbing. I know a little bit of everything. My stepdad forced me to watch him work all the time, and I learned a lot from him. But let's move on to question number 13. What is your biggest regret? My addiction, for sure. And with the addiction, there's a domino effect of other regrets that stem from that, but definitely that, no doubt. And then question number 14, where do you find inspiration for makeup? I find inspiration for makeup like color combos in everything, literally everything. Outfits, shirts, the patterns in shirts, flowers, nature, literally everything. If I see something and I think it's beautiful, I just remember it in my mind so that I can recreate it with makeup looks. A lot of times, even like team colors, like basketball or football teams, their team colors are really cool together. Just little things like that. There's literally inspiration everywhere. The cover of a book, the most random thing. This, like, you could find it anywhere. You just really have to look and just start seeing it with that in mind. I just love that. Nature is a big one, though. Question number 15. Favorite type of weather? I love springtime because I feel like that's a time when everything in the world is new and it's all beautiful and bright. And I love that. But I also have very high anxiety when it comes to storms. So it's also a downside as well. I hate being hot. I'm a fluffy girl. I don't like to sweat. So I'd rather not. I love the vibe of summer. I just don't want to be hot. But I think so. I don't like to be cold either. I sound like I'm never satisfied, so I'm just gonna go with fall. I love like the Halloween makeup. That's a big reason. I love the color of the leaves. That's a big inspiration and stuff like that. So I'm gonna go with fall. Number 16. What is your biggest insecurity? I just told you guys a moment ago I have imposter syndrome. And with that, I also have a ton of insecurities. And I do mean a ton. I don't know what my biggest are. My weight being one, my past being another, my addiction is something that makes me feel insecure. And that's not me saying that anyone with addiction should feel insecure because I don't believe that, but you know what it's like. When it's you, it's a different story. You give someone else one advice, but it's hard to take it yourself. It's just something that I struggle with. But what would be another one? My education level. I did not graduate, which probably doesn't seem surprising, but I did not graduate. I'm insecure about that. It is something that I want to fix eventually. But to be able to fix that, it would require me to be able to focus. I literally went in to get my GED, which I've taken the GED practice test 3 times now. And the first 2 times I took it, I passed with almost perfect scores. But my anxiety is a lot higher now than what it used to be. And the last time I went and took it, I left in the middle of the test and I never went back because I panicked. I literally panicked taking my driving test. So I have a lot of insecurities and I'm hoping that maybe one day I might be able to change that. I'm a work in progress. Number 17. What is your favorite animal? Out of all the animals in the world, I'm still going to go with dogs. I love dogs. I love a lot of animals, but my girls have just gotten me through so much. And honestly, I don't know where I'd be or who I'd be without them. And that's so freaking true. I love them with my whole heart. They are my life. All 5 of them. I love them. Question number 18, which is a really good one. And it's one that I've had people ask, and I'm happy to finally answer it. And it is, why YouTube? And the short answer is, I love it. I love YouTube. I love watching YouTube. I love what watching YouTube gave to me. I know it sounds really dramatic, but I really mean it when I say that it changed my life. It I was always a very insecure person, and it's always been a huge struggle of mine. And YouTube gave me something that made me feel proud of myself. I've not done a lot of things in my life feel proud of. At least I don't feel like I have. And YouTube opened a door for me, and I think makeup is art. I think eyeshadow is art. It's fun. It's a way for me to express myself, and I love it. It makes me happy. For the first little while of watching YouTube, it helped me escape from the stress in my like everyday life, and that brought me peace. It helped pull me out of my depression, and I just really do love it. And I found something that I'm really passionate about, which is something that I've always not had. I've been lacking in that. And I want to be the same for somebody else. Not only do I really love the makeup. I love new eyeshadow palettes. I love playing with color. It's fun to me. But I just hope that maybe one day I could be someone else's escape and I can do for you guys what some of my favorite creators have done for me. And that honestly is the ultimate goal. That's what more is there to anything? Like, we're supposed to be there for each other and help each other when we can. And I feel like YouTube is a way for me to be able to do that. But question number 19, what are 5 things that you are grateful for? Let me tell you, one thing you will learn from being homeless is gratitude. I am literally grateful for everything from the trash can in my kitchen to my car, my income. But that's not what this question means, I don't think. So, a big thing that I'm grateful for is my spouse. I don't know what I did to deserve my girlfriend. I really don't. I've never in my life had so much support and understanding and just every positive thing that you could ever imagine. I don't know what I did to deserve it, but I am so freaking grateful that I have it. I wouldn't trade it for anything in the world. The peace, the just happiness, all of it. I I know exactly where I would be without it because I know where I was before it, but and I don't even just mean physically, I mean mentally and emotionally. And I could never truly say how grateful I am for that. But another thing, I'm grateful for you guys, of course. I'm grateful for the opportunity to be here, to get to even have this conversation, to get the opportunity to make this video. I'm grateful for the chance that I had to start over and to be better. I'm grateful for that every single day that I wake up. It's every day is a opportunity to be better than yesterday, and I'm truly truly grateful for that as well. I'm grateful for stability in my life. I'm grateful for the strength I've found like within myself. I'm grateful for everything. And, I know I was just joking about it a moment ago, but truly, I mean that. I am grateful for everything, to the clothes that I have on my back, because I know what it's like to have nothing. And I don't think my gratitude could ever be bigger than what it is, ever. Question number 20. We are almost done. What is your favorite music genre? All of them. Not all of them, but to be honest, I like so much music. I like almost everything from classic country, classic rock, new rock, um, hip hop, R&B. I love different like time like eras of music. I like some 60s, some 70s, 80s, 90s. I like less of today's music and more like 90s and 80s and even 70s, but I do like some of today's music too. It's just my favorite. I used to say, I joke and say I was born in the wrong time because I was born in 1988, but I feel like I should have been a teenager in the 80s. I just love music. Music makes me feel better. It's something that just pulls me out of whatever like mental slump that I'm stuck in. I just think it's good for us, and I love music. I love so much music. In the words of Missy Elliott, music makes you lose control, you know? And I'm back with lashes and the liner is done. Are they even? I really don't think so, but they look close. Question number 21. What is your biggest hope for the future? One of my big ones is I really hope to see my channel grow, our community that we've built here. I really do love, but outside of YouTube, I I just want peace. I want to feel proud of myself. I want to feel proud of something I've done. I want to do something that is important, that matters, and honestly, that's all I could ever hope for. And hopefully, that will come from being here. And that's my biggest hope for the future. I just want peace. I want happiness. And I want to be someone that I can be proud of when I leave this world one day. I want people to remember me for good things and not for bad things like my struggles with addiction and things like that, or my mistakes. I want to be remembered for something good, and I'm working really hard on that. I want to be the best version of myself, and honestly, that all those things kind of tie in together, and that's the best thing I can hope for. But as I mentioned earlier, I will have all of these questions in my description box in case you guys want to film your own video. But if you want to answer them down in the comments, I would love to hear your responses. You're going to have to let me know what you think of this video. If you have any other questions for me, let me know. And maybe I can compile them all and make another video similar to this, but with your questions instead. I think it'd be really fun. I really love this eye look as well, and I hope you guys found some inspiration today in not only the makeup, but also in life. But thank you so much for your support. I also want to say thank you for the response I got on my Get Ready With Me video. I literally cried reading some of your comments. They really mean so much to me, and I can never truly explain how much your support and just your encouragement and being here really means. I appreciate you all so very much. But if you like this video, give it a thumbs up. It really does help me out. If you haven't done so yet, I hope you will subscribe. And if you do subscribe, don't forget to turn on your notifications so you don't miss all of my future uploads. I'm about to do a massive haul video after I get done with this one. But until next time, bye.
We don't need to be worried.